What's going on, everybody, and welcome to your 14th AngularJS tutorial. And in this tutorial we'll be starting off with a basic login form kind of mini series in AngularJS. I just realized that there are many more things you can learn, but I just can't go over each and every specific thing and just tell you what that does and how that works. So we'll be working on with some web apps, and as we code together, then I'll just teach you what everything is doing and how everything is working. So in this way you'll be able to learn more and quickly. So let's get started. So to give you a basic information about a login form, it's just like something like, you can say, an input field which accepts username and passwords, and it would just validate your credentials and would redirect you a specific page if your credentials match. Otherwise, it would just show you an error box. Alright, so for the time being, let's keep the ng view and let's create a new page. Let's say this one as login.html. Let's quickly create a form with login.html. I'll just say ID. Okay, excuse me guys, someone rang the doorbell. Alright, where were we? Yeah, so we were talking about creating a form, and let's give it an ID of my login. And that's pretty much it. We don't need any method because we are doing everything at client side. So let's create an input type text, name, username, and ID same as well. And I'll just copy this again with a break. Alright, so we are good to go. Now we have got the login page ready, and I like to hook it up inside the controller.js. So let's see, I want when it's at the home page, the template should be login, and when it's at the dashboard, I want the users to be redirected to dashboard.html. Now the problem is that I can authenticate users to their specific places, but a user can directly access the dashboard without going to this page. Now this is the problem with this routing. Now I'll come back to this when we will actually complete our whole application with just this security issue. So let's say another page when error, or I guess I can just simply show everything on the login page itself. So now we need something as a module. So I'll just create another div here. I'll just say, did I just say a module? No, this should be a controller, sorry. So we need to create a controller, and let's create a controller. Let's say login controller, and let's just fill it with a scope right now. We'll add with our requirements, and let's say scope.submit. Now scope.submit, we would create this function, and this would fire whenever the form is submitted. So let's create scope.submit function, and I guess I should just create everything here inside in this place right now, so that you guys are just not confused. So give me 2 minutes and I'll make everything clear to you. Alright, so here's our button, or I'll just go ahead with a button. and I'll bind basically a click event with this button. And if you remember from your JavaScript tutorials, what we need to do is to attach a click event, we used to create an on click. Now this would perfectly work fine, but since this function is inside a controller and is not a global, and I want Angular to take interfere in this matter, therefore I would use Angular's own directive of the click event. So ngClick would fire just like the JavaScript on click did, but this would pass the control to your view, this controller right here, login control, same things. Alright, so we need to give this as ng model username. Remember that we need to get the value of all these two, password, and I guess we could just get rid of the name one. You know, I'm used to add this because name one is required to get data at the server side PHP. So okay, so let's say I'll create var uname is equal to scope dot username. Just for clarity, let's keep them in variables scope dot password, otherwise you could just simply access them with these things as well. Now let's say if scope dot username equals something which you have to add as valid credentials, and scope dot password equals admin as well. Whoa, admin as well. Then I want location dot path, and inside the parentheses what I'll do is I'll supply here dashboard. Alright, so I'll explain in a minute what we are doing here. Okay, so what we've done so far is we just created a simple form right here inside a controller, inside div. Actually I could give it here only, but leave it now. Now I have binded the username and password to these two input fields to grab them inside the controller. Nothing much new, we have done this before. Then I have created a button and attached an event listener to this button inside the Angular. And remember that this form right here is never submitted. This is technically never submitted. We are just grabbing the information entered in the form and processing it with AngularJS, because if it were submitted, then we had to supply something in the action and do like return false in the JavaScript to prevent the browser from redirecting at this path. Alright, so now this location is another thing in AngularJS which helps you to, you know, just locate inside the URL, change the hash values. So instead of doing something like this, window.location.hash equals dashboard, this would also work, but we have got a better alternative to this in Angular, and that is location.path dashboard. And this do not require any hash because path automatically knows that we are working with Angular, so this has to be hashed so as to prevent the page from loading. Alright, enough of talks, and let's see if this works or not. So here's the browser, and let's go to 14.html, and as you can see here, Angular just did an AJAX request here to this page, and whoa, I guess that was not visible. Alright, so you see there was an AJAX request. So first of all, I'll just try with the valid credentials because we haven't set validation for invalid ones. So I'll just do admin and admin login, and we do not have the dashboard.html, otherwise this code works just fine. So let's go ahead and just create a blank dashboard.html. Welcome user, simple as that. Let's reload this again, reload, admin, enter won't work. Alright, so Chrome offering me to save the password. No, never. So now you see that we are redirected to the dashboard one, and it says me welcome user, but the problem is that I can simply go to this URL without actually logging in into the home page. So to fix that, what we need is some conditional routing, and I will just simply specify alert wrong stuff. So this would just add validation for everything else. So now, yeah, I was talking about conditional routing. Now, conditional routing is something which would allow you to set up conditional routing, just as the name suggests, would allow you to put some conditions, and if they are matched, then only redirect the user to that particular page or URL. Otherwise, throw them wherever you want. So we would be looking at conditional routing in the next tutorial, and thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you then. Goodbye and take care.